What's up guys, back with another video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, but today we're getting immediately into the basics of Python. Now I made this whole script that's going to come into this whole thing at the end of the video, but right here is a really cool script. So let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to be going over a whole bunch of different basics of Python and how they all kind of come together to make Python one of the best coding languages in the world today. So here's the script, right? We're going to start off with variables and data types, right? So here I have name, right? This name is going to be my name, so Jordan. This is specifically a string, right? A string is basically any text within quotation marks, and for Python that means just text, right? So if you want to print something, you print a string. That's basically how that works. And next I have age, right? Age, I'm 17, and this is an integer, right? Integer is basically just a number, right? And in Python you have a bunch of different kinds of numbers, so we're going to get to that next. Because I have height here, right? And my height is 6.4 feet, and this is a float. It's another kind of number in Python, and it's parsed differently in a slightly different way in Python. So it's just something to think about when you're programming. So now we have Boolean, right? Is programmer equals true. In Python, Booleans are really important because if you have a condition that either needs to be true or false, you'll track that with a Boolean statement, right? So let's move on to print statements, right? Here I have print, hello, my name is name, and if you look here, this name goes back to the name variable that we put at the very beginning of the script that is Jordan, right? So whenever I run this code, it's going to say, hello, my name is Jordan, I am 17 years old, which is really cool. That's how you can kind of use variables to make systems that are slightly personalized to everybody. All right, number 3, we have lists, right? Hobbies equals coding, gaming, and reading, right? So that means coding, gaming, and reading. Those are the 3 items in this list. Now, there are a lot of different kind of list type things in Python, right? We have dictionaries, we have tuples, but specifically lists they're really nice because you can accidentally have the same term in there twice and it's not going to mess with anything, versus in a dictionary you can only have something in there once. A really cool way to use lists is to print them out, right? So if I say print my hobbies include hobbies, this is basically kind of going back to using a variable, right? Just this is a little different. So instead of printing out the word hobbies, it's going to print out coding, gaming, and reading, right? Again, great way to track variables. Number 4, we're moving on to loops. Specifically, this is a for loop, right? So for hobbies, in hobbies, print I enjoy hobby. Now this is a little weird because hobby and hobby are the 2 different things, and they're both being used at the same time here, right? And then in hobbies, so we're printing the hobbies in hobbies, right? Now hobbies with the IES is the list that we just made with coding, gaming, and reading in it, right? And so if I print the hobbies in hobbies, then it's going to print I enjoy gaming, I enjoy reading, and I enjoy coding. Those are the 3 things it's going to print out. And again, you'll see this all later at the end of the video when I run the whole script. Next, we're moving to conditionals, right? If, else, right? If age is greater than or equal to 18, then this code is going to print I am an adult. Else, it's going to print I'm still a teenager. Basically what this code is doing is just checking if the age is greater than 18, greater than or equal to 18, and if it is, then you're an adult, and if it's not, then you're not an adult, right? And again, this age parameter here that it's checking for is the same exact one that we gave a definition to at the very beginning of the script, where it says that I am 17. All right, number 6, we have functions, right? Python syntax for functions is exactly this. Def, that means definition, right? Next, you give it a name. Here we have greet, right? And next, you give it any parameters that it might need for the function to run. Here we have person, right? So we're going to return person, right? Hey, welcome person to the Python demo, right? And when I run the script, it's going to say, hey Jordan, welcome to the Python demo, right? Really cool, right? Print, greet, and then name. Number 7, we have dictionaries. Dictionaries is another type of sort of like list thing. I talked about these a little bit earlier, right? So here we have name, age, height, and height. This is actually just pulling the same data from the beginning of the script. Again, if I go all the way up, we have Jordan, 17 and 6.4 for my height, right? Print person info, that's going to print exactly what's in the thing. So it's going to say Jordan, name, Jordan, age, 17, then height, 6.4 feet. Next up, we have list comprehension, right? Squared numbers, right? Doing a little bit of math here, right? X times 2 for X in range of 1 and 6. It's going to print those squared numbers, 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, so on, right? That's exactly what that does. It iterates over and over again and prints out the squared numbers. Next up is one of the biggest things in Python programming. I use it all the time, and it is extremely important, and that is exception handling, right? If you have an error in your code, you want to use a try catch, right? By doing this, you say try to say sign a person in, and if it works, then it works. Except if it doesn't, then print this statement in the console saying, uh-oh, something is wrong, right? So here we have zero division error, right? We can't divide something by 0, right? So it's going to try, and if something is trying to be divided by 0, then it says, oops, you can't divide by 0. Try catch. Really, really, really important. Number 10, file handling. This one is also really, really important, right? I use it all the time when I'm making scripts to like automate tasks on my desktop, you know, opening files, seeing what's in them, and then giving me, I don't know, a summary of what's in the file, stuff like that. So this one is actually just really, really simple. With open demo.txt with as file, then write, this is a Python demo file, right? So when I run this code, it's actually going to make that file in my file directory somewhere, and it's going to write that specific text. This is a Python file. Really, really cool. You can create TXT files in Python. All right, 11. This isn't anything really specific. We're bringing it all together, right? Now we're going to bring in class. Now a class is something that's really, really interesting. This is basically how you can make definitions for something, right? Now this kind of definition is a lot different from the definitions that we use in functions, right? A class is exactly what it sounds like it is. You have a class of something, right? So if we have a class of person, each person in that class has to have a certain thing, right? So in this case, I have to have name and age, right? Within this class, we also have the built-in function of an introduction, right? Hi, I'm self.name. This is pulling all this together. The name that we had at the beginning, Jordan, right? So what this is going to do basically is say, hi, I'm Jordan and I'm 17 years old. Me equals person, name, comma, age. That's what it is. That's who I am. That's me, right? So it's going to say print me.introduce. So what this is going to do is going to reach into that class to see who I am, right? And then it's going to take the data from that class and use the introduction function within the class to print out what's, you know, the information. And it's going to say, hi, I'm Jordan Rose and I'm 17 years old. Really, really cool. So now with all of that, we can actually do something extremely cool with all the information we've gathered from this script, right? We can do a chatbot. This is just a function, this chatbot basically is. So user input is going to say, ask me something. So I can ask it anything, but we're going to have a couple pre-programmed responses, right? So if it says name is in the user input, and this here, this lower, this is on purpose, right? This lower is going to take everything, no matter what, it's going to make it lowercase. So there's no parsing errors and no errors being like, oh, this name has a capital N, but it's not the exact name type that we have. So I'm just going to say it's wrong, which isn't always the case, right? So really want to use that in there. My name is PythonBot and I was created by me, right? It's going to say Jordan Rose. You leave age in there. I don't know age, but I know your blah, 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 right? And then if it's anything else, I'm still learning, ask me something else. This is really important. This is sort of like a try-catch kind of thing, right? It's going to try to say something, and if that something doesn't work, then it's going to do something else. That's literally what the logic. So I'm going to uncomment this to try the chatbot, and we're going to run it right now. Okay, so let's run the code. So we ran the code, right? Hello, my name is Jordan Rose, and I am 17 years old. I mentioned all of this earlier. My hobbies include coding, gaming, and reading. That's so cool, right? I put all that at the very beginning here, and it's printing out exactly what's in the list. That's amazing, right? I enjoy coding, I enjoy gaming, and I enjoy reading. This is coming from this loop right here. It's saying for every hobby in the list hobbies, it's going to print out I enjoy hobby, whatever the hobby is. In this case, it's coding, gaming, reading. Really cool. I am still a teenager because I am less than 18. That's what this right here is, right? Number 5, if age is greater than or equal to 18 and you're an adult, I'm not, so I'm not. It's basically how that works. Again, Python logic is actually extremely simple. It's just, it takes a little bit of doing to understand it. So this is the greeting thing, right? It says, hey person, welcome to the Python demo. You can see right here it says, hey Jordan, welcome to the Python demo. Again, Python logic is actually simple. Now right here it has all the information, person info. Name, Jordan, age 17, height 5.9, right? Not accurate, I'm 6'4", but whatever. Squared numbers, we have 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. That's the squares of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Really cool. We just basically had a mini calculator right there. I can put whatever number I want to in there, and it's going to square that number. And right here it says, oops, you can't divide by 0, because we used that try-catch. Instead of it throwing an error and breaking all of the code, I just said, except if it doesn't work, you say, oops, you can't divide by 0. That's the whole point. And now at the very bottom it says, hi, I'm Jordan and I'm 17 years old. Again, that's coming from this in the class, right? Again, really cool. I know I keep on saying that, but Python is straight up my favorite language. And now we get to the big bad, right? We have the mini chatbot. So ask me something. So if I ask it something that it doesn't really know, like hello, like we didn't program that in there, I'm still learning, ask me something else. It says that right there. Now if I wanted to put in a while loop or a for loop to make this keep going, I would, but all I really have to do is just run the code again. So it's going to say ask me something. So if I say, what is your name? It says my name is PythonBot, I was created by Jordan, right? Now this isn't completely pre-programmed, right? It's searching every single inquiry and it's searching for a name or it's searching for age, right? So if I run this again and instead of saying what is your name, I just say name, it's going to give me the same exact response because it's looking only for the text name. Now if I run this again and do the same thing for age, the same exact thing is going to happen just with a different response, right? I don't know age, but I know you're 17, right? That's what it says because that's what I told it to say. And if I run it again and say, what is your creator's age? Because it doesn't know any better, it's going to say, I know you're 17, but like, that's not exactly what I asked you. It's not intelligent. It's just a try-catch thing, basically, using if, elif, and else statements to make a sort of chatbot. That's basically all for this one. This was basically Python basics in a little over 10 minutes, so that's all for this one. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.